Good morning, friends. Welcome to our weekly read and discuss session. We are reading the book Drawing Solutions by Patty Dobrowolski. We are on page 45. Three bold steps. Three bold steps to get results. Great job. The map in front of you now gives you a clear picture of where you are, your current reality, and where you desire to be 1 year from today. You desire new reality. Your next task is one that the left side of your brain can really sink in its teeth into, crossing the bridges of bold step and doing something. The process I am recommending requires you to come up with not one but three bold steps, which can be daunting. We all make minor changes every day, but when you really want to make a solid, positive shift in a new direction, you have to take big, bold steps and not just make a little tactical adjustments. Bold is much more than just rearranging your file cabinets. A bold step is usually so big that you may need to take a bunch of smaller steps to achieve it. This is the point where some people freeze up. They can't think of a way to get from the left side where they are now to the right side where they desire. Why does this happen? Because if you have been completely honest, you are beginning to realize that many of the things you desire on the right side will require you to step out of your comfort zone. This idea is terrifying for the left side of your brain because it prefers to do the same thing to make matters worse. It is at this point, uh, it is at this point that the voice of your inner critic, who has been patiently waiting in the wings for an opportunity to drum some sense into you, begins to weigh in. You know that voice. It is the one who says things like, "You don't know how to get it from here to there. If you did, you would have already done it." Or, "Ha, just wait until you show this to fill in the blanks and they are gonna even laugh at you." Or, "It takes more than a pretty map to solve your problem. You are in a mess." Say you put something on the right side of your map that you never done before and find it difficult to believe you will know how to get there. In my 20 years of using this process, I have found no matter what you need to change, you really do know what to do, even though you don't know the exact path to take. It is important to keep reminding yourself of this. When you really want to make a change, you must change the pattern by approaching the process of change in a new way. For example, if you want to lose weight, it's not enough to simply stop eating. You have to change your lifestyle as well as the things you eat. If you dump your lover for the same reason you dumped your last four, going in search for someone new will not result in someone better. Because, well, you know how the story ends. Repeating the same strategy produces the same outcomes. I'll stop here. Do you want to go next, Wendy?
Exercise. Three bold steps. Look at the desired new reality you successfully created on your map. Reassure yourself that you also have what you need to create the bridges to reach it. Take a deep breath and bring your conscious mind fully into the present moment. Allow the past to fade, taking with it any failures. Your conscious mind has two options: being in the present, where change is possible, or being in the past, where worry and regret keep you from changing. Let's get ready to create your bold steps. You may want to just start writing something as a way of unlocking your frozen brain. Get a piece of scratch paper and start brainstorming ideas without worrying about how bold they are. If at any point you feel overwhelmed, close your eyes to block out any outside stimulation. Take a few deep breaths and ask the wisest part of yourself: what are the three boldest things I can do right now to bring myself from my current reality to my desired new reality? As you begin to get insights, immediately capture them on your paper. Give yourself ample time to let every idea emerge. When you feel complete, review your list of possible steps. Do any of them scare you? If so, that's a good indicator that they are bold. Will any of them stretch you? Are there any that would require small steps to achieve the bigger and bolder one? If any step seems easy or effortless, eliminate it or spend some time rewriting it to make it bolder. Highlight the bold steps on your list that you think have potential. then work on them to make them short and sweet. It's critical that they make sense to you, and it's even better if they inspire or scare you a little or a lot when you see them. One of the women for whom I did a mapping session, Susie, is a nonstop go-getter. She runs her own business, has adopted 2 Vietnamese children who lost limbs when a landmine exploded, and is positive and inspirational. She came to me because she felt stuck. She didn't know why, but when her long-term contract ended, she just couldn't get a move on. Her current reality was filled with lots of home-related projects and kid-related activities. Her desired new reality was populated with words like work that I love, abundance, job aligned with who I am, and what I do best. When it came to crafting her bold steps, she froze. She said, I know I should know how to get from here to there, but really I'm so afraid. I know I shouldn't be, but I am. I suggested we write Be Brave as one for bold steps. Yes, she said emphatically. The other 2 bold steps just came right out. Here's what she wrote me afterwards. The key to achieving my future was not only what is not anything, but by being courageous. I flexed and stretched my courageous muscles over and over again and overcame my paralysis and obstacles that were causing conversations and stories in my head. Susie Cantor. I find that clients' 3 bold steps tend to fall into 3 categories. One of those bold steps is usually the big one they have been keeping inside, like quit my job, leave this relationship, or stop smoking. This first step is usually simple, though requiring some pretty big changes, and is often the first thing that comes to mind. The second bold step tends to require a change to their immediate environment, like talk to my family and make a plan, create a better work environment, or get serious about my health. And the third bold step is often self-reflective, tapping into the more personal dimensions of change, something like believe in myself, be more present, or step outside my comfort zone. While some clients create those bold steps in that order, for other people like Susie, that Be Brave bold step unlocked her ability to think through her next 2 bold steps. You will know your steps are right if they energize you, even if at first glance they are daunting. When I am working with clients, once they have come up with their bold steps, I hear them say, that feels right. This is exactly what I need to do. No matter how competent a change agent you are, when it comes to really committing to have the life or job or relationship you dream about, you should expect it to shake you up a bit. Quoted in Chicken Soup for the Soul, Alan Cohen writes, it takes a lot of courage to release the familiar and seemingly secure, to embrace the new, but there is no real security in what is no longer meaningful. There is more security in the adventurous and exciting, for in movement there is life, and in change there is power. There is no better time than now to shake things up. When you have worked with your 3 bold steps so that they are simple and somewhat challenging, write them on your map, 1 step per hour. You now have the basic elements of your change plan. See if you can shift your mindset from looking at what is on the left side of your map to living the right side, because now it's real. Not only have you said what you dreamed out loud, you've written it down. Yikes, you drew pictures of it. Not only did you write down what you wanted, you wrote down what you have to do to access the life you desire. You should feel both a sense of relief and excitement, and maybe even a few butterflies in your stomach. Sit back and look at what you have created. This is your plan and your vision. No matter how long it takes to make it real, it will happen. It is possible that every little thing may not turn out exactly as you imagined it, but the things that you really want most certainly will become real. It's only a matter of time and trust. Okay, I'll stop here.
Okay, I will read to the end of that section. Here's how it worked for Pam. 6 years ago, I created a snapshot of the big picture map in a session with Patty. The process allowed me to mark a moment in time and to clearly establish where I was and where I wanted to go. Now, when I review my map, I can see that when I detailed my current reality, I listed a bunch of facts that described me, whereas my desired new reality was more global, grand, and inspirational. I imagined work with meaning, an opportunity to be successful, and most of all, to know why I am in this world, my purpose. I believe I will arrive at a place when people would know me and my reputation so that I will never have to apply for work again. When I was hired for my current position, I was recruited because my work was well known. There was no other candidate. The board of directors reviewed my resume with my name blacked out, and yet they all knew me. I was hired. I now realize that my current work is where I've been headed all along. Pamela Harris, President and CEO, Miles High Montessori Early Learning Center. Exercise action steps. Look back at your big, bold steps and begin to break them down into small, manageable actions. This activity should take you about 30 minutes. In the space provided or on the worksheet at the back of the book, write each bold step that you have on your map. Beneath each one, list all of the small steps you believe you'll have to take in order to accomplish it. Don't worry about the order you put them in right now. Just brainstorm as many actions as you can. If bold step number 1 is quit my job, one of the action steps might be have a conversation with my family to let them know that I'm not happy working where I'm at, or let my family know that I plan to finally quit. Another action might be start saving money for a change, or figure out what else I can do by going to informational interviews with people in the fields I'm interested in. So there's a picture of bold step 1, bold step 2, and bold step 3. Try to come up with about 10 small actions under each of your bold steps. It's okay to have fewer than 10 actions. Just be sure not to rush through the brainstorming process. Now apply the 80-20 rule, which says that on the list of 10 things, 2 of them produce about 80% returns on your investment of time. The remaining 8 will net you about 20% return. Time is a precious thing, so look at your list, pick out the top 2 actions on each list that are going to result in the biggest bang for your buck. Note them as the things you want to act on first. At this point, you should have 6 actions that stand out, 2 actions per bold step. These are actions you start working on from this moment forward into the next week. Now you are creating your action plan. It must work for you. So if these actions seem too big to implement immediately, try to break them down into smaller bite-sized pieces. Write your first steps down on paper and carry them with you. You might also put them on your calendar, on your computer, as your screensaver, on your bathroom mirror, or any place where you can see and review them often. This visual reminder of your strategy will help prioritize your actions and keep you focused. Think of your plan as your security blanket. It will assure you anytime you doubt your new direction. If your inner critic starts up, your plan is proof that you really do know what you're doing. And you do. Okay.
For the discussion, do you want to start first, Julie?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, did you want to start, or Wendy? Were you going to say something?
As we were just reading this last section, when it says 2 key actions per bold step, so the first thing I thought of was my improving my physical health. So one action is exercise, which I've been doing. And the second one is making sure I take care of watch my diet and, take care of my insides. Which my insides are working, do whatever I have to do to make sure that's going okay. So that's the first thing I thought of.
Mm-hmm.
My yoga and my exercise, and making sure I don't get too upset, because I do that once in a while. I have to, I get upset over things I maybe shouldn't, and then I realize that I have to take a step back, and that's something I have to remind myself. That's it.
Okay, I can go next actually. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, I like the three bold step, but yeah, as she mentions that these are really bold steps, so it's going to be uh, something moving out of the comfort zone, which definitely a lot of people don't like. And also, I'm also that category where once you sink into one thing, it's very difficult to switch to completely something new. Um, so for me, one of the thing was having like staying really fit. I always want uh, so I although I am like fit, I don't feel like I don't fall sick and all, but I still think I'm in that slightly overweight categories from the last few years. So I've been always trying, okay, let me you know, reduce my weight a little bit. Like at least 15 pounds is what I have to stay in that, healthy range. Uh, so I tried a bunch of things. In summer, I generally go for hiking with my friend. So that generally helps. So and during that period, I noticed that yeah, my weight really falls down, and I feels good and all, but somehow I don't continue it's after that. So it's just that those few months of summer where I go for hiking and all that really helps. The problem comes when it's winter and all, and we don't go for hike, and the only option is like indoor gym or something. That's where I accumulate weight and other stuff, and so. But although I keep it constant, I have a constant weight. Uh, I don't go overboard, but yeah, I still want somehow to reduce it because I have noticed that once if your weight is in control and you feel really different, you feel very light, you feel fresh, you feel enthusiastic. So that's what I have noticed and generally this happens in summer. Maybe I think it's weather or health, one of the two. Um, so for me, I think yeah, one of the thing I had was keeping myself fit. For this, I think yeah, we know like what the steps to do, but the thing is following up is a little bit tough. Like I know like what I have 2 3 things to do, but yeah, so I'm going to work on that over this time. Let's see.
Okay. That must be Wendy, right?
I muted the phone and I don't know why it's ringing.
That's okay.
It's nobody anyway, I'm sure.
Sometimes it's really loud, but today it's not too bad. Thank you. Yeah. So weight loss is clearly one of mine.
It's nobody, as I suspected.
And I actually got some documentation I can forward to both of you from this woman in Quebec City, Canada. And she lost 15 pounds. And she says this diet helped her. But she says the first thing you have to change is what's between your ears. So I haven't read the material yet, but I'll forward that to you. And I did lose 15 pounds too. It was largely based on Hyman's diet, Mark Hyman, which is eat fat and lose weight. And basically the premise on him is that we don't need as much starch as we eat, but we eat it to get enough fat because we need fat for the brain. The brain actually absorbs a lot of fat. So when I was eating well, I had almost no starch, a lot of fat and a lot of protein and lots of greens, veggies. But I went back to having like a small amount of starch, because it's kind of hard to maintain that diet. I gained back 5 pounds, but I'm kind of stable around there. But so I do want to lose more weight. So that's definitely one of them. And one of the things for me is despair. Like if I do something, I give up easily because I do something. If it doesn't work after a while, I say, "Oh, it's hopeless. I can't do it." But now, so one of the things to work through is not to give up. So that will be a subtask on the weight thing. And the other thing is to exercise. And I try to do something cardio every day. Like even if it's just walking, if it's a really cold day, I walk inside my building, And there's a treadmills in the gym. So I'll combine those things. So that's my number 2, exercise, and obviously watch my diet. That's the other thing is I know that too reminded me my relationship with my husband, and so I continue to work on that. And that's it starts with my husband, but it's just my relationships in general. And one of the things is just like make it number 1, right? In the sense, not exactly as you say it, but like be aware of my feelings. And then for me, it's to be grateful for whatever feelings I have. And then I sometimes think, oh, you do this, I do that, that's not fair. But not to worry about fairness, because in my mind, what is fair is may not be. Everybody have different sense of fairness, but more like ask, what can I do to make the relationship better, right? What can I do to help him? How to express myself, or how to be more understanding. Just take more patient.
Got it.
Things like that. So that's what you helped me to. Just because of what you said, that's how you helped me to have these ideas. So those are my 2 big ones.
Yeah.
And then the last one, the money thing, I think it's just let go of judgment of being rich. I think all rich people are. Now, if I'm rich, I show off. Or if I'm rich, I won't be compassionate to other people's suffering. So let go of kind of judgment, and then let in possibilities. So it's still a little vague with the money thing. So those are my 3 biggies: weight, relationship, and money, which relates to projects too. So that's what I have.
Yes. Cool. Yes. So we can move forward to our commitments for this week. So for me, first one is basically continuing with going to gym. That's still number 1 priority. Second priority is so I need to read bunch of technical things like based on work. So that is another one in my list, to do list. The third one is so I'm trying to find some time to read books, but I am not able to not able to make time to read books. That's something I'm going to focus. So I got some books from library. So the due date is there, and I have to return it, but I'm not able to open them. So it's been happening for a while now. So I have to somehow get some time, and like my lot of to do list is still growing and growing. Um, so I'll find out some time this week and go over there. Uh, that's it from my side. You want to go next, Wendy?
Well, for me, keep up with the exercise and the yoga, and take what I was talking about before. Make sure I take care of myself physically. Keep up with my reading and all the my academic pursuits, let's say, and then this week I have to get ready for the exterminator on Tuesday. So that's it.
Okay. So for me, for the weight loss is I will exercise,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll forward the documents, my friend, to you guys
Mm-hmm.
on weight loss in case you guys are interested. For the relationship, I will write a list of things I'm grateful for. Write a gratitude list
Mm-hmm.
for my husband, on my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the whole idea of money and stuff, I will draw the desired future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are my three.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, really awesome. Thank you.
Okay, great. So sure. I think we're a bit early today, but
That's fine.
cool. Okay, guys. Then see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
See you next Saturday.
Yeah,
Bye.
next Saturday. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.